Good evening, Gills fans. Welcome back to the latest episode of Gills in the Blood TV. It is Monday review time. Sitting down to talk about Saturday's game, which was a 2-2 draw versus Rochdale at Spotland. Seems that the watchword after the game and since then has been frustrating. From what I've read on newspaper reports, social media, Twitter, Facebook, listening to Steve Evans and Jordan Roberts' interviews after the game as well. Seems that the general consensus is it was 2 points dropped rather than one gained, and I think I have to agree a little bit in the sense that if you look at the teams we've played in this run of 4 consecutive draws in the league, I don't think Rochdale are anywhere near the level of Oxford, Peterborough and Portsmouth. So in that sense, it is a little bit of a case of a missed opportunity, especially after coming from 1 down to get ourselves in front midway through the second half. And the 2 goals that we've conceded are very unlike us recently. I think Playmaker Stats had tweeted out at some point last week that we had the second best defensive record in the whole division, and it was just typical Gillingham. I tweeted out Saturday evening that for the first time in the league since the 21st of December we score more than once in a league game, and lo and behold, for the first time since the first weekend in November we concede more than one in a league game, which was pretty annoying. On the flip side, if we're looking for positives, our previous 3 results at Rochdale have been 4-1, 3-0 and 3-0 defeats, so 10-1 overall in the last 3 visits. So it's a massive improvement in terms of not getting beat. But if we do have aspirations of getting in the top 6 or anywhere near the top 6, I think we definitely have to start turning these draws into wins very, very quickly. More positives, if you look at it, for them are new signings. John Akindi and Jordan Roberts both had a positive impact. Roberts was at the double, got his first goals for the club, both very good finishes. First one brave from an Ollie Lee corner and gets his head on it and sticks it in the back of the net, and the second one's an instinctive swivel and finish, left-footed first time after big John Akindi had flicked on a Connor Ogilvie throw-in. So good to see them both playing their part. I think they'll continue to get stronger and have positive impacts on games between now and the end of the campaign. And as I've already said, it remains to be seen whether they have a big enough impact for us to gate crash any sort of playoff position. Yeah, but just defensively weren't quite at it, I think Steve Evans said. And looking at the goals, both of them come down our right back side, right back channel, which is unlike Barry Fuller. It seems he's way out of position for the first goal. The ball gets played over the top, and then Jack Bonham has a brain fart. Unfortunately, then he comes a million miles and doesn't get there in time. And Steve Evans spoke after the game of whether it was inside or outside and whether there was much contact, but the way he's gone towards the player, for me, it's one we'd be screaming penalty if it was the other way round. So I think the referee's got it right, in fairness to him, and I'm not a huge fan of League One officials. And then the second one, again, we seem to switch off. It's a huge ball down the pitch and we don't deal with it. We don't win the first header and it bounces around, and fair play to the lad, it's a good finish, but I think it's preventable before then and we could have cut it off at source, but wasn't to be. Going the other way, promising signs in terms of, like I say, Jordan Roberts and John Akinde. Brandon Hanlon as well, implemented in a slightly different position. Him and Roberts played wide with Ollie Lee behind John Akinde as the lone striker through the middle. I think we might have changed that throughout the game, just to match up shape and that type of thing. But gives us more flexibility in terms of systems, and be interesting to see if we could play Jordan Roberts and John Akinde as an out-and-out partnership, and I'll get onto that in a little while. But yeah, Luke Cordell obviously writes in the Medway Messenger, his final paragraph I think sums it up well as always. Both sides will look to miss chances, but the Gills should consider this an improvement on recent years and return to Priestfield on Wednesday with gusto. The playoff door remains ajar, but only just, and draws aren't good enough. 3 points are a must this week. Tend to agree again. I think we have to beat Shrewsbury on Wednesday. I think the added incentive is that all the games will be played on Tuesday, so we'll know where we can get to if we can pull off a victory at the Priestfield on Wednesday evening, and that'll be a good incentive, a good carrot dangling in front of us, so to speak. And fingers crossed we can get 3 points, and hopefully we'll be sitting 3-4 points off the playoffs, and then we have a little mini break, don't we? Because we don't have a game next Saturday, unfortunately, due to the expulsion of Bury from the Football League back in August, which obviously is not nice to see. We'd love to be playing them, purely on the basis that it mean they'd still be in existence and a football club and their fans would have something to do every Saturday. But if we want to look at the positive point of view, it means that those that are carrying knocks and niggles get 10, 11 days to recover, and we then go again after that and have a real assault on the final, what will be 17 games of the season, I believe. Match ratings, just talking about the game again, we said Barry Fuller caught out for both the goals. He only got a 6, Jack Bonham a 5. The others in the back 4, which was Max Amar, Jack Tucker and Conor Ogle, all got a 7 off of Luke. Stuart O'Keefe and Alfie Jones in the pivot both got 6. Ollie Lee in the 10 got a 7, John Akindi got a 7, Brandon Hanlon from the left was given a 6, and Jordan Roberts an 8, our man of the match. Pretty understandable. Substitutes were late on, weren't they? Mika Mandron came on after 77 minutes for Big John Akindi. Matty Willock, 5 minutes at the end for Ollie Lee, and Alex Jakubiak came on with 3 minutes to play for Jordan Roberts, and no match ratings from Luke for them. Unused subs were Joe Walsh, Lee Hodson, Regan Charles Cook and Ben Pringle. Yeah, but that's enough about Saturday's game. Let's have a look now at some other news. Mark Marshall was released back end of last week, has quickly found another club. He has joined League 2 outfit Northampton. I think they're going well in that division, so all the best to Mark. Didn't really work out for him with us, did it, unfortunately? Never really started enough games. I don't think we ever got to see the real best of him. Had played himself into some form from the bench coming up to the festive period, but rumours are that he was on a decent wage and we need to strengthen in other areas, and if, at 32 years of age he probably wants to play more, so it's probably a move that suits all parties. Darren Oldacre, remember him, released in the summer, went to Billericay, left them in November. He has joined Hive Town, was in their squad for Saturday's win. So yeah, dropped down quite a few levels, Darren. But I'm sure he just wants to get out on the football pitch and play regular games again. And good to see Asinu Cisse picked up, I think was a sponsors man of the match in Leyton Orient's 2-1 win over Newport at the weekend. So great to see him getting minutes and doing his job. That can only benefit us if he comes back next season and can get himself into contention. It gives up another option, and you can never have too many options. So good to see that. In terms of one transfer rumour, I think it's Alan Nixon, journalist up north, reporting today that we may be in for Wolves winger Jordan Graham on loan. Can't say I know loads about him. I've done a little bit of research. Last season he played 23 times, which was 2 loan spells at Ipswich and Oxford. So he had a handful of games in the Championship at the start of the campaign and then joined Oxford. Obviously, if we do get him in on loan, it'll be 6 on the squad, which would mean only 5 can be in a match day 18, so 1 would miss out. Or the other thing is maybe 1 could be let go. So looking at those that we do have, I can't see it being Alfie Jones or Tom O'Connor. Can't see it being Ollie Lee. Which leaves Jordan Roberts. Can't see it being him. He's only just joined. And Alex Jakubiak. So be interesting if Alex Jakubiak was let go. He is still our top scorer, I believe, but doesn't start loads of games. So maybe it's something we're looking at. Maybe it's something that he wouldn't be averse to if he can go elsewhere and get games. But this is purely conjecture. I don't know anything. So like I say, if it was my choice, I wouldn't let Alex Jakubiak go. And we spoke about it, me and Boz, on Thursday, about maybe trying to get him in on a permanent because his contract's up in the summer, and then it frees up space to get another loanee in. But we watch that one curiously and see what happens, see how it develops. But the big news is, obviously, we do have a midweek game this week. We take on this lot on Wednesday evening. Shrewsbury Town come to the Priestfield, visit Kent Wednesday night. The game was originally planned for Tuesday, but has been put back 24 hours after their FA Cup exploits. I did watch the game last night on BBC. Fair play to Sam Rickett's men. I thought that out absolutely immense against a much changed Liverpool side, we have to say, but they still had a few of their big names playing. Fabinho started, Dayan Lovren started, Salah and Firmino had to come on, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain had to come on, Adrian started in goal, and he played plenty in the Premier League start of the season when Alisson Becker was injured. They had a few promising youngsters who'd probably walk into some Championship team starting as well, so it's not like it was a poor Liverpool side or entirely the kids. That's another subject for another video for another day, talking of Jurgen Klopp and what he said about the replay, but that's not for me to get involved with at the moment. In terms of form recently in the league, last 6, Gills unbeaten in 6, but only 1 win in that half dozen games, so 8 points from 18. Shrewsbury, 1 win, 3 draws, 2 defeats, so they got 6 points from 18. Home and away form, Ours is pretty much brilliant at the moment. We have 4 wins and 2 draws, so that's 14 from the last 18 available. Shrewsbury's, weirdly enough, is exactly the same as their overall league record over the last 6. So a solitary victory, 3 draws and 2 losses. So 6 points from 18 again on the road. Too many draws. That's what I've written down on my notes. We have to start turning these draws into wins if we want to have real aspirations of pushing up the table. We just seem to have been stuck in a bit of a rut at the moment. We're not playing badly by any stretch. Don't think that's what I'm saying at all. Sorry, can't get my words out. Has the FA Cup affected Shrewsbury? Potentially. If you look at their League One form, it's not brilliant. Neither team's prolific. I think we've scored 31 in the league. They've only scored 24. We've conceded 27. They've conceded 28. So both sides are defensively solid. Could it be a case of who has that magic moment to unlock the other team's defence? Think it'll be a close game. Reverse fixture back in the autumn was 1-1. Excuse me. We bossed it, took the lead through Stuart O'Keefe and then sat off second half and, surprise, surprise, drew the game. In terms of players for them, just a couple that stood out last night in their FA Cup tie. Jason Cummings come off the bench and turned things round for them. He's a natural goal scorer at this level. He's got 7 in all competitions. He's only started 11 games this season. I think his problem's been staying fit. So he'll be a threat if he plays a part, I'd imagine. And Josh Lauren was absolutely first class last night. Deservedly got man of the match from the BBC pundit. So he'll be another one to keep an eye on. Let's just hope they're really, 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 really tired. Steve Evans' comments about don't blow our big chance. That's the back page headline in today's Medway Messenger. And he makes a good comment inside and says that he wants us to become a really good side and not a nearly good side. And we're not too far away. We know that. We've said for a long time we knew what we needed to be the difference maker, and that was adding more goals. Like I say, it's sod's law at the weekend. We finally score more in a game and then concede more in a game. But I think if we can get back to it on Wednesday, to being solid defensively, because I know we changed the shape at the weekend and went 4-2-3-1 as opposed to the diamond. But yeah, I'd make a couple of changes Wednesday, especially in the middle of the park. I think, like I say, we've just become a little bit stuck with all these draws. So if we could maybe get a couple in there that may add a little bit more invention, a little more creativity, because the onus will be us to be on the front foot. Team news is exactly the same. We have no Mark Burton for the rest of the season. We have no Tom O'Connor for this one due to a hamstring problem. My team would be Jack Bonham in goal. Barry Fuller, Max Amar, Jack Tucker and Connor Ogilvie would be my back 4. I would then put Alfie Jones at the base of a diamond and go back to the 4-4-2. I would play Matt Willock and Ben Pringle from the right and the left respectively. Ollie Lee in the 10. And I would have Jordan Roberts up front with John Akindi. People know I'm a big fan of Brandon Hanlon. I think he offers loads, doesn't score enough, would love him to score more. Maybe it is the right time just to take him out, give him a breather. I think we did it earlier in the season or back end of last season, and he came on and changed a couple of games, really wanted to prove a point. So you might get that sort of reaction from Brandon again. In fact, I think it was Plymouth last season, he came off the bench and we were 1-0 down and he spun things on our favour and we won 3-1. I think he got the last goal. So don't hold me to that as gospel. I think it was that game. I might not be correct. But yeah, that would be my 11. Bonham, Fuller, Amar Tucker, Ogilvie, Jones, Willock, Pringle, Lee, Roberts and Akindi. My bench would be Joe Walsh, Lee Hodgson, Stuart O'Keefe. Again, not done a lot wrong, Stuart. I just think being at home and needing the win, I think we need to get Willock and Pringle in there are probably more ball players rather than ball retainers or ball retrievers. Regan Charles Cook, Brandon Hanlon, Alex Kubiak and Mika Mandron would make up my 7 on the bench. Looking forward to it. Should be a good game. Be interesting how they react after what was a very tough cup tie last night. The one that they've had to put a lot into to come back from 2-0 down. You thought that after Donald Love's own goal, literally seconds after the restart, you thought that might have been it and they could have caved in. But fair play to them. They showed a lot of bottom, a lot of attitude, a lot of aptitude and a lot of dedication to get themselves back in it, and they won the penalty to get back to 2-1, and then Dayan Lovren handed them a present, which is odd considering he's the best centre-back in the world apparently. And Jason Cummings stuck it away and they could have nicked it at the end, but I think draw was probably the fairest result. But in terms of a score prediction tomorrow night, I am hoping that the legs are a bit heavy in the Shrewsbury camp. If we can get back to being solid defensively like we have been, especially at Priestfield, I'm going to back us to win by 2-0. Jordan Roberts and John Akindi will be my goal scorers. Right, that is enough from me this evening. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. Myself and Stocky will be at the ground on Wednesday for Matchday Live. There'll be no Boz because he's at work. You know where we are: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and YouTube. And until next time, up the Jills.